Good evening and welcome to another installment of the United Hour. We have a lot to talk about today. Cristiano Ronaldo's meltdown as Ralf Ragnick finally found a system that works for Manchester United and the players that he has. Why has Bruno Fernandes not signed a new contract yet? Considering that the club has been offering one since the middle of last season. We're going to be talking about that. And of course, the Booboo and Top Shotta of the week. Our favorite part of the program. So let's go. Good evening again. And let's see who's inside the house with me. We've got a man from Miami, Big Phil.
I'm not in Miami. I'm in Toronto.
Sorry. The man in Toronto, not from Toronto, the man in Toronto, Big Phil. Got Brian Big, and we've got, well, it's not his first time on the program, but his first time he's on the program since we're on YouTube. Man, Mark. How you gentlemen going this afternoon?
Everyone. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
So everybody good? Quickly, because we did the breakdown yesterday. For anybody who hasn't checked it out, you need to check it out. The breakdown, we went through the whole game and all the details and stuff yesterday. But quickly, how are you guys feeling about our win yesterday? Not you, Big Phil, you was on the breakdown yesterday. Mark, how you feel about the game yesterday?
Well, it felt like any United victory is a plus. Is a plus. You like to see a team win. At the same time, we did have our little issues on pitch. That we could probably work at to be better at. But it was a good victory all around. I mean, it's supposed to be something that we would say like routine victory. But Brentford made a little tough for us. Tough not to crack. Tough not to crack. But we got there in the end. Felt good. A lot of people wrote us off though.
Well, a pleasant good evening to you, President Chad, and good evening to my fellow Manchester United brothers. It's a mixed bag really for me. First of all, I'm of the belief that I think that Manchester United should and ought to be at the level where teams like Brentford in the first half, at least they should have been killed off at least by the first half, and into the second half is just to level it off by adding at least 2 or 3 more goals. But nonetheless, it was a great victory. It was a great feeling to be winning again. I saw a lot of pluses there. Elanga, I hope I'm pronouncing the guy's name properly, shows a lot of prospect for the club. I was happy to see Bruno leading from the front with getting the goals. I was mostly happy that Marcus Rashford was able to be on goal scoring. Very happy about that. There are some more things that I'm sure we will get into. And my main thing with that victory is David De Gea. Greatest in the world. Greatest in the world.
We're not going to be discussing that today, but at some point we're going to have to put as a topic: has David De Gea returned to being, that number one keeper in the conversation?
Well, they have him as having the most saves right now in the league.
Well, that may be so, but we'll have that conversation.
In defense of that, we are facing a lot of shots at the same time too. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
having
not a
more
good
saves,
that's not a good
he's
stat to
good,
go by.
but he shouldn't be having any more saves if he's better. I mean, defense must be better than
Correct.
Yeah, so seeing some top form right now, and without those more saves in the league, we could be probably bottom. You understand?
So
more saves
I
in the league,
wanna
could be bottom.
we want to start off talking about Ralf Ragnick. Yesterday, Ralf Ragnick utilized a 4-3-3, and to good effect. The team maintained for most part a good control of the game, and it was well balanced. I mean, a lot like usual, A lot of times when we concede goals is because we give up possessions in wrong parts of the pitch. But to say that this team was playing through our midfield, normally Manchester United has turned to Donut FC. Teams would just carve us up through the middle. That was not happening yesterday. And we need to be, most of their good chances came when we lost possession of the ball yesterday. The goal came from a corner, right? But to say they were passing the ball through us and carving us up, that wasn't the case. We looked fairly defensively solid. What do you guys thought about the 4-3-3? And do you think, more importantly, do you think that this is the formation instead of the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-2-3-1 that we should be moving forward with? Talk to me, Big Phil.
Well, I got a question. Was it really a 4-3-3 or was it a 4-2-3-1?
I think it was the official on the page on MUFC's page. It was a 4-2-3-1, but when you actually look at how they played, it looked like it converted between the two. When we were in attack, it was 4-3-3. When we were defending, it was 4-2-3-1, which happens. A lot of clubs change formations depending on how.
Now, don't get me wrong. This ain't question if the 4-3-3 works. This is kind of a similar question to when we played the 3-5. The 3-5-1, was it? No, 3-5-2, sorry, versus Spurs. And we won, right? And everybody was like, is this the new formation going forward, right?
Yeah, well, we all remember that with the first time we played 4-2-2-2 against Crystal Palace, we looked great for the first 45 minutes. So, that is why we asking the question. We, as Carlton says, one win, we don't want to get carried away. And I agree, so that's why we asking the question, do you think that this is it? No, or do we still need, more experimentation?
Yeah, I'll probably give my same response when we deployed the 4-2-2 versus Crystal Palace and even the 3-5-2 versus Spurs. Let's take it game after game, right? Because I don't want to get carried away and say that just because we won means that this formation works, right? There may be a formation out there for us that works, and it may take us a couple games to lose, and then we start clicking. Right, but we saw that we tried 3 different formations this season. We won the first match. We played well, and then all of a sudden it went down here. It went downhill from there. The Viagra wore off. Right, so I don't know what will be the right formation for United. This is a question that you'll have to ask 5 games down the road if we're still playing that same formation.
All right, so Big Phil is being optimistically cautious. What about you, Brian? Were you happy with the formation change yesterday?
Well, I'm biased to the 4-4-2, not the 4-2-2.
You stuck in the 90s Sir Alex Ferguson era.
The reason why I'm saying that is because of the fact we do have some players who could act as very good wingers, who can do very good crosses. I do believe that we do have a frontline striker with that of Cristiano, but I do believe that he should have a striking partner with Rashford. I think Rashford needs to go back and become the frontline striker he's meant to be, right? Or at least Mason Greenwood, because these guys are strikers, and that's what we need. We need goal scorers, right? Dybala, sorry, right? We need to have these type of players in our club, right? And the problem with that is that when you go into those type of changes, 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 or 4-5-1, it sometimes frustrates a player like Cristiano Ronaldo, right? It also causes a lot of frontline striking players to be out of certain positions that they are not used to. And then you have to put them into those type of positions and you see they're struggling. We have a man that
you feel that the constant changing, you think we should just get one formation and stick with it?
Yes,
allow the players to gel in that system.
The reason for that, and I was stressing the point, is that we have a man by the name of Sancho, Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is with Dortmund was an attacking winger, coming in can play within the midfield and play back out. You're putting him in positions where he's sometimes out of position. And unfortunately, we're getting the Bundesliga curse, where players who come from that league of not finding their footing quickly. And it's time that Jaden, he's been here a little, yes, he knew he's a new signing, but he's taking a little too long. And that's why it's because they're constantly mixing the boy. And again, we have the great savior of Donny van der Beek, where like there's no, we don't know where to play him, apparently.
Of course, we know where we playing Donny van der Beek on the bench. All right, Brand. Let me move on to Mark. 4-3-3, Mark. What's your opinion on it?
I think that's a formation that fans over time wanted to see with the attacking options, the players that we have. I believe that's formation that the fans wanted to see. Going back to what one of the members of the board said, with regards to players playing out of position. I don't think that's the case. I think the players actually would enjoy playing that position. Marcus Rashford is one who thrives on the wing. As he said, Sancho came from the Bundesliga, coming in from the right hand side. He also used to play behind the striker. He did that position very well with Dortmund as well. Playing behind Ronaldo shouldn't be a problem because he has fine tuned his game so much over the years. He's now what we know as goal scoring machine. He is just, he wouldn't miss. He had a little bad patch these days, but the formation itself is good. Based on the players that we have, I think it's about time that we use players the way they should be. Fred, I never saw Fred as a defensive midfielder. He does not, to me, have the physicality to deal with players in that position. McTominay looked really, really world class yesterday. He bossed the game. He bossed the game in that position. I mean, that was against Brentford. You have to
Before
look at them in that position or formation against other top world class
before we
teams.
move before I move on to talk about Ronaldo, um,
What
we need to talk a little bit about Scott McTominay. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. One of the things I like about the formation is the formation doesn't make us donut FC, right? It closes the gap in the middle. I prefer Bruno a little more deep lying. Bruno has a pass, he can spray the ball all over the place. Bruno doesn't need, sometimes when he's playing right behind the striker, next thing you see Bruno ahead of the striker a lot of times. And I think that is a bad thing. I think Bruno Fernandes needs to be in the midfield where he could control play. But yesterday, for the first time, we have seen Scott McTominay excel as a box to box. We have seen Scott McTominay excel when he's playing next to Fred and Fred stays back, against teams like Leeds and teams that give him a lot of space. Yesterday, Scott McTominay was our CDM and he controlled the game. He advanced the ball. He took back possession and he moved the ball forward. He was very instrumental in two of our goals in terms of breaking up the play and getting the ball going forward. And,
Hmm.
do you all think that finally, we've been hearing about correct coaching Scott McTominay for the longest while. Do you think that Ralf has finally been able to unlock Scott as a real option? I'm not saying he's the solution, but as a real option in that position now?
No,
Yes or no?
no,
Go
I
ahead,
think
Mark.
he,
no.
I think he was always an option. He just didn't have what it took at the time, but he still is developing at the role. I mean, playing by yourself in the midfield is not something. It's not an easy task. You always been playing in a double pivot with a partner. Now to boss the midfield by yourself, to distribute, to link from the defense to the attack, to break up plays, to be box to box on your own in a team like that is not an easy task. And yesterday he
So,
did that well, but I
so,
still wouldn't say that he is the fix.
so,
I still think we need somebody who is experienced on their own.
so you
To
you are no as well.
not yeah, yeah, no,
And how
Correct.
about you,
no,
No.
Brian? Yeah,
no.
yes or no? Is Scott McTominay the man?
Well, to be honest, I honestly thought that he was, because
When you
from
say
what
he
we
was before
I,
this game,
I thought he was being our CDM because of the fact, I mean, people must remember the history that he was being looked to be made as a CDM when we had Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was looking to do it because he was basically
Jose,
saying that Matic was getting ready to basically
Bow out
retire
to the game.
because
Hmm.
he's on his. You can see age is catching up on Matic, right? Then you saw Ole tried it as well. So the main thing is that it is being done. But the thing about it is that a man has to learn to embrace it,
You
right?
know, you bring up a very interesting point that I didn't remember. You had Jose Mourinho, right, that actually made an award just to give Scott McTominay an award, right, a player award at Manchester United. Then
Yes,
you
smile.
had um Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and now these guys obviously see something in Scott that make them believe that Scott could become
Yes,
at
they
some
all say the
point.
same thing. They all say he's a leader in the dressing room. He knows the ways of the club. He is touted to be the next Manchester United captain. Despite what he is, that
Yeah, but I
breed
mean, all
of
of those
player.
are tangibles that could apply to anywhere on the pitch. I'm
And
talking
he
about there
is the
must be
national
skill
captain for
sets.
Scotland.
There must be skill sets that they see in training that they believe this kid could run our midfield. Because we talk, these are, we could say what we want about Ole. Jose Mourinho is a world-class manager. And
Hands
we know
down.
how important CDMs are in his style of football. He saw something in Scott McTominay. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are now a
Ralph.
well-rounded, veteran manager in Ralf. They all, even Michael Carrick, I'm not saying that our answer. All I'm saying is there
He
must be
could be.
something these guys are seeing. So let's jump into the hot topic.
I
I
am
want to
not
read.
I am not taking that President Chad because one, all of the managers that you mentioned are now fired. Two, don't forget we had Ander Herrera under Jose Mourinho. Three, there was a vast difference between Scott McTominay, who's average, and what we had. We had the likes of Andres Pereira, right? We had no other midfielders there, so you have to play what's at your disposal. I'm sorry, I'm not taking that. Just because three managers see that Scott McTominay has something in him, right? You can ask the majority of the United fan base. If we had to go in the market and sign a Basuma and Neves, if we had to take Saul from Chelsea, if we had to sign Dennis Zakaria, ask yourself, is Scott
Hmm.
McTominay going to get started in this team? Ask
Well, I
yourself.
mean,
I'm not burning this whole, I'm not burning this whole three
if I
managers
may
piece of
interject, I mean, I guess this is where sometimes where me and Big Phil will always disagree. Then not many times we will agree, but you made a good mention of Ander Herrera. Fine, but where is Ander Herrera today?
at
Right,
PSG.
right. How much game time is he getting at PSG? Well, last season playing.
Well, I don't follow the Farmers League, so you would have to tell
You
me.
should check it, right? But nonetheless, if this is man, it's somebody we are molding, somebody who we could try and do it. Well, why the hell not?
I think the problem is he's taking too much time to embrace the position.
I think the
As you
problem
put
is, I have
as you put it.
always thought that the problem with Scott is that coaches, managers confuse Scott. One week they want him to be a CDM, next week they want him to be a box to box. And if you keep changing, and then when he plays for his country, he plays as a defender. He plays as not a central defender as a that. You understand? When you keep changing somebody's position every week, obviously they're going to be confused. You
A
know
good
what I
point.
mean? Because each position calls for something else. But
Right.
I take on board what Big Phil has said, and Big Phil is right. The same way all of my points are right, and all of Big Phil points are right. So the question mark is, time will indeed tell. But for me, I believe there's better on the market, and we should go out and get a CDM. But I think Scott McTominay could definitely entrench himself as that solid central midfielder that could be called upon when necessary in the future. As it is right now, with Matic age, he has become a need now, but we should not have that need. We should have something better available. I want to bring in um Valentino's comment here. Too much distractions from people who should know better. Was it necessary for CR7 to behave in that manner? This undermines team spirit and, of course, the manager. Jamal responds to that and says Ronaldo's reaction wasn't that serious. Any top player should be upset about being subbed once it's not over the top or disrespectful to the club.
I agree.
And I want to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo right now. So,
agree.
Mark, I want to start off with you. What was your reaction while you were seeing it? When you were watching
I
it on
was
TV and you were seeing Ronaldo complaining and let's put it plainly, looked like he was whining. What was your reaction to that?
I wasn't at first when I saw the ball go up, I was actually surprised it was Ronaldo coming off. I knew it was a change of formation. At the same time, Ronaldo's reaction to being subbed off wasn't really surprising to me because it has always been the same. As the person who commented before said, no great player likes to be taken off. I mean, it's 77 minutes, 75 minutes on the clock. Ronaldo, yeah, he missed a couple. He wasn't at his best, as we know. But I mean, I don't think you would take a player like him off for that amount of time. It's not to say we were in the 95th minute and needed a goal. You know, at the same time, he was coming back from a hip injury. So he didn't really want to risk the full 90. He didn't know what possible injuries he could incur during that time. So, I mean, it could have been a precautionary measure. But, I mean, Ronaldo's reaction didn't surprise me. Every time he gets taken off or carded or something, his reaction is
I
always the
wanna
same.
I
It's just
wanna
his passion for the
I
game.
wanna zone in on
And
something. On something, Mark, because I want everybody to react to the same thing. When I ask the question, I'm not talking about him being disgruntled for coming off, right?
mm,
I mean,
mm,
Bruno Fernandes doesn't look good, happy coming off, and there are a number
correct.
of players that don't look happy coming off, right?
Mm-hmm,
Messi, a number of players, when they're
correct.
walking off the pitch, you could tell they're unhappy. They don't like being subbed. I'm not talking about that. I'm specifically talking about when he's sitting on the sideline and the manager it seems like the manager has to come and talk to him to calm him down and explain himself to him. And you have a teammate that just scored a goal, and the manager there talking to you instead of celebrating on the sideline. That is what I'm speaking about.
Well, it's an
How did that look? How did that come across to you?
a normal situation. Clearly, Ronaldo wanted to know why he was taken off. If the manager himself had to go now and tell, well, this is the reason and that is the reason, and guess that was what the cameras picked up. Then who knows what they were talking about? They could be talking about going for rituals after the game. We don't know. Yes, he was talking
We
to
do
him.
know what they were
At
talking
the
about
same
because
time,
Ralf said. But go
the
ahead.
whole world knows that Ronaldo was upset. If Ralph is the kind of person that he always said that he talks to his players, and Ronaldo clearly was, asking questions as the camera passed up sometime after when he was taken off. You saw him asking, why me? Clearly, Ralph had to now go over and explain to him, why you? And maybe that's what the cameras picked up. And that's why I said, typical Ronaldo. He just doesn't like to come off. I mean, it's natural. All coaches go through that. Coach Ronaldo, he just doesn't like to come off, and they all end up telling him why. I look at that as okay, that's Ronaldo, that's natural Ronaldo. I didn't see anything wrong with it because we know that is how he is. That is how Ronaldo is. So
All
if
right, all right.
you know he's that passionate
Robert,
about the game, then you know what you're getting yourself into. That's just my take on it.
no worry, well, yeah, that's what we want. We want your take, Robert. What say you about this? Welcome to the panel.
Welcome, Robert. Welcome, Robert.
Robert,
Good
the
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Next time, don't be late.
Big Rob.
Yeah. Oi. Oi, what's going on?
How did you feel? And did you just see it happening and thought, yeah, well, that's just Ronaldo, or did it rub you the wrong way to see that?
Well, I don't know why people surprised because if you all remember, right, under Sir Alex, I think we were up. What it was 3 or 4-0, and he took him off, and Ronaldo went up in the stands and threw a fit. He threw a fit, and that was against the great and wonderful Sir Alex.
Yeah, but
Right?
I mean, with age,
No,
age brings reason,
no,
Robbie.
there's more. With Real Madrid, right? It was the same thing. Every manager that ever took him off, it was the same thing. He always have that same reaction. He wants to play. Every minute of every game, he wants to play because he is the best, right? So as far as in his mind, I can still give more, right? I am glad that the man shows passion. I'm glad that the man doesn't want to come off, unlike other men. Because I mean, I don't hear people talking about Bruno, because every time Bruno always shows a hissy fit, every time. Up
Yeah,
to now, no, but up to now,
I
I've
mentioned,
yet
I
I've
did
yet
mention
to hear
Bruno.
a man say it. I have yet to hear a man say it. Not you, not ESPN, not CNN, BBC, nobody.
A regular,
Man,
regular.
No, you can't. You had to
Right.
be. I did say that Bruno does show You know, he is never happy. But it is one thing to be unhappy coming out.
Look,
It is another thing when you're in the dugout,
look,
sitting
I'm
on the
sorry.
side of the
I'm
dugout
sorry.
and
I'm
making a scene.
sorry that we have a player who actually demands us to win. Excuse me. Because
Correct,
I didn't
correct.
know that we were in the
That is the
business
mentality you're
of
supposed to have.
being
All 11 of them on the pitch.
right. We don't support Joe Public. We support Manchester United. I didn't know we were a team of losers. If we are, cool, let me come off the screen now. I'm tired of this Ronaldo bashing. I'm tired of it because
We not
the truth-
bashing Ronaldo, we asking your
yes,
opinion.
because the facts, right? Hear the facts. Hear the facts. If it wasn't for Ronaldo, where would we be in Champions League right now? Fourth.
Last.
We'd be out. We'd be
Out.
out. If Ronaldo wasn't here this year, where would we be in the league? What? Relegation.
No,
what we
can I
read.
interject?
Relegation.
Can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
interject? No, I hear a lot of people ask that question. At the same time, this is the flip side to it. Where were we without Ronaldo? We did finish second. We were looking good under Ole, right? So I wouldn't say that without his goals, we would have been in a worse position because we don't know how the team would have played, right?
No.
With Ronaldo, you know, he's a winner. He's a serial winner. He likes to win.
Right.
He doesn't lose. And because of his mentality, you expect that to flow throughout the club that he's at.
Exactly.
You expect everybody to go up one level.
Right.
So I wouldn't say that, without him we would be worse off. At the same time, we still don't know how we would have functioned without him in the first place.
I would say this.
We could have been
right?
first. We could have been second. We could have been fighting for. We could have been qualified. We could have been in all competitions, still top goal scorer. Everything. The situation could have been totally different had Ronaldo not been there. Because since he came, we do play for him. We do play for him to score.
Yes.
We do. Our style of play has totally changed from what it was before. It was coming along under Oli. We were getting results. We did finish top 3 for 2-3 years, 2 years straight. I mean, come on, he was getting results. I think Ronaldo just piled on that extra pressure, and because with that extra pressure, now you're forced to show results.
Right, and that's
forced to show results, and that's where people don't want to step up. They don't want to get that extra oomph, extra hour before and after training.
I will say one last thing, right? Before Ronaldo came, right, all we had bought was Sancho and Varane. Nobody was talking about
Ronaldo
us challenging for the league. Nobody, right? Once Ronaldo came, once we saw him with his shirt, every Manchester fan, everyone was saying, "This is the year. This is the year." All of a sudden, it went from us being in fourth place to us being up there in the league. All of a sudden. So my thing is, I am sorry, but the man raised the level of the team. And it is very obvious that certain men just can't reach. They can't reach now. They can't reach.
Correct.
What was your reaction to Ronaldo's behavior on the sideline?
I'm not gonna lie. When I watched over the whole scenario, I didn't make much of it. It wasn't like when I watched, I think it was Spurs versus Chelsea, and I think it was Saul or somebody was sub for Chelsea, and they started kicking a bottle and started kicking against the seats. And I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" But when I saw Ronaldo's substitution, it wasn't as that severe as some people made it out to be. When you go on Twitter and you see Ronaldo trending, then it starts to and you start to read and watch comments and see videos, and your mind is then triggered to say that, oh, I either going to watch it or I'm going to take it as it is, right? So if you're a person that's going to take what Twitter said and see that, oh, it was that bad, to me, it wasn't that bad, right? I am going to go from the fact that, Ronaldo, you're now coming off of a hip injury, right? The hip and the knee are the two joints in the body that take the longest to recover, right? Ronaldo, you're not 24, 25 years old, but I'm taking it from that perspective. Ronaldo, we need you in the Champions League. In my opinion, top 4 is over. Top 4 is over in the league. Ronaldo, we need you in the Champions League. If we're going to get back into the Champions League next year, we need to win the Champions League.
Correct.
We need you, Ronaldo, right? So from that perspective of Ronaldo being taken off, maybe
or the FA Cup
of his hip, That's all. I'm taking it from that perspective.
What about the FA Cup? Can you still use a domestic cup to still gain entry to the Champions League, European competition?
The
I
Europa
think
League.
you get the Europa League. If you win the
Yeah.
FA Cup, you get to the
Okay,
Europa
okay,
League.
okay. Well, you see.
Brand Big, I know you're supposed to be leaving us just now.
Yeah. I have some time still, so I can still comment.
No, well, I'm going to ask you the question before you leave. That's what I'm saying. What
Yeah.
was your opinion? How did you feel when you saw Ronaldo on the sidelines having to be spoken to by Ralf? Ralf having to explain himself to
Sure.
why he
Well,
took him.
well, my meeting got pushed back to 7, so I'm here for a while. So let me just say that first of all, this is something we should not be surprised about. This is football. Cristiano Ronaldo is a part of a league of players who is dynamic. You have himself of recent. You have himself. You have Mo Salah. You have you have Lionel Messi. Yes, I must mention Messi, right? So these are players who see themselves as needs to be there for the full 90 minutes, right? But in history, it's not the first time this has happened in Manchester United. We have seen where Wayne Rooney was upset at time being subbed off. We have seen uh, Dwight York. It happened to Dwight. It happens. This is football. So Cristiano may have wanted to stay on a little more, especially when in fact he started to get some movement. He started to get some good 1-2 plays. But this is football. At the end of the day, the decision lies with the manager. Leo Van Gaal gave the best answer ever. For those who don't know, this is the man. No, sorry, it's not Leo Van Gaal. It's Leo Ben Hacker. Sorry. Leo Ben Hacker is the most famous manager slash coach who subbed Marco van Basten in a Euro semi-final. And he was so upset with him for being subbed off. And in the finals, which the Dutch did win, what did Leo Ben Hacker do? He did not start Van Basten. And he made it quite clear. I am the manager. Leo Van Gaal himself, as anyone who knows, I'll make it very radio friendly. He dropped throw and say, hey, who's the person who has the testicular fortitude in this club? Me. So Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm not surprised. It happens. It's football. We just saw it happen in the African Nations Cup, right? Where one player got so upset, kick a bottle on you and walk off. And the manager say, keep walking. It happens in football. I agree. Ragnick had to sit with him a little bit.
So let me get it clear.
Let me just finish the point. Ragnick had to sit with him a bit because remember, this is Cristiano Ronaldo. This is one of the greatest players in the world. He is a player who obviously is upset. So a manager has to talk to him a bit. Yes, you won a goal. Okay, good, we win. But Christy, hey, you just came off an injury, buddy. Listen, we need you, right? But relax. But at the end of the day, we won the game. I'm sure Cristiano will start on the next day. But my main thing is we need to get Cristiano back on the ball to start scoring again. That's
So from what I'm hearing from you guys is that Cristiano being upset for coming off, for questioning the manager on the sidelines, why me? Why are you taking me off? That's okay. As far as you're concerned, that's Cristiano. And you all also don't have any problem with Ralf taking him off and Ralf being the manager and doing what he did. So that's okay too. So you're not bothered too much by the scenario.
No.
So I wanna, and fair enough. I like Valentino, right? In the comments, I don't find this a good look.
You don't find a good look.
I don't find this a good look, right? But that's just me. But is I don't know. I also agree with Phil that sometimes on Twitter things are blown out of proportion. It wasn't that bad, but it really wasn't a good look. But when I hear commentators trying to cover for what they see on the pitch on the screen, it doesn't sound good. The commentary team was trying to make it sound.
They are not making it sound like it is something way more than
it was a passive conversation when you could see on the screen it was a little more heated than that.
It's almost similar to like three guys, right? Two guys arguing, right? And one guy in the middle saying, "You could take that. You could take that. You can't take that, big man. You could take that for real." That's just to escalate everything, right? So.
Yeah, but in the words of Sir Alex Ferguson, no player is bigger than the club, you know. So if you had to come off, you had to come off.
No, and that's it for me.
The club
Ralph
But
Ralph
very
show
true too,
himself
because
to
I
handle his
saw
club.
on the updates where Sir Alex Ferguson was disappointed in the behavior of Cristiano. He was disappointed about it. But this is not a bashing of Cristiano, Rob.
No, you're
No,
just
it's not,
No, no,
but
stating
like
what
no.
it's
you're
just
stating what Sir Alex
unanimously.
said.
Alex did
That's it. Exactly.
put out, he was
Yeah.
disappointed with the
No, no,
behavior
no.
of Cristiano. He
Yeah,
did
because
put that.
he's not. See,
No,
Cristiano
right.
Ronaldo is a leader on this team,
He is a
Correct.
leader. That's
and
a
to
fact.
me,
I mean, again,
when you are a
I
leader on
agree.
this team,
He
and
is.
you know that the media has been trying to insinuate that there's a total collapse in the dressing room in Manchester United, that is not a good look under those circumstances. You understand what I'm saying? I understand they want to
Correct.
play, but because of what is going on right now, anything the media is looking. Look, I saw memes when they took off Greenwood. They show Cristiano on the side and Greenwood looking at him, and they're trying to insinuate that
Yeah.
Greenwood watching him bad eye and all kind of thing.
Mm-mm.
That is the
Yeah.
atmosphere that we are in, and a player like Cristiano Ronaldo is supposed to be intelligent enough to say, well, yeah, what? Maybe there's not even a perfect time to throw a pissy fit.
I mean,
But
if you know English,
No.
if you know English football, English press love any form of football, or the tabloids, all of them, they love the drama. They love the back and
of course, and that is my
who could
point.
forget?
We had to
Who
know the
could
moments.
forget when Mo Salah, when he scored a goal, and went and celebrated by the form of praying, and you saw where persons was mocking him. You saw what he did? He took off his shirt and threw it at the crowd. I know what the memes was. You want a jersey for sale? Here, take mine. Don't borrow mine. So it's bacchanal. English love the bacchanal when it comes to football too. That is a little trini in them that they have with us.
Well, that's the one thing I like about you guys, that nobody was too bothered by it. I myself was a little
We know that.
disappointed, but I
Yeah.
wasn't too bothered by it. I'm nowhere near the point where I would say Christie should be sat on the bench for the next game. I
Why?
just saying it's
For
not a good
who?
No.
look. You know?
No, for who?
No, I'm just saying
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
bothered. I'm just saying I'm not bothered.
I just don't get the hate, man. I don't get the hate ever since the man reached. Like, I think we should just be happy he's here.
Of
Correct.
course we
Just
have
enjoy it
to.
while he's here. He back in a red shirt.
He could
Just
have
enjoy it.
been on the other side, you know.
No,
I don't
he
think he would have
couldn't be.
gone. I don't think he would have
No,
gone.
no, no, no.
I
I
don't
know
don't
think
think
he
he
that.
would
could
have
have
gone.
gone, and I don't think Pep wanted him. But that's
No, no,
another
no. I
talk
know
for
that.
another day.
Yeah.
So, Bruno Fernandes, we are very interesting crossroads, and I want to put this in perspective. Last season, the team recognized that Bruno Fernandes was one of our best players, right? So what they decided to do, they approached Bruno Fernandes, even though he had only recently signed and he had 3 more years and still has 3 more years on his contract. They approached Bruno Fernandes with a contract extension. Summer came around and Bruno said, "Here, what? Instead of giving me more money, go and sign Neves or go and sign a central midfielder." Well, we all know what happened. We didn't end up signing a central midfielder. Cristiano became available. We took the money, we bought Cristiano Ronaldo. Right? So now they've reapproached Bruno Fernandes to get, because Bruno Fernandes is on, I think, 100, between 100 and 150,000 pounds a week, right? Nowhere near the highest paid players at the club. I mean, you have men like Martial making 250,000 pounds a week. You have Rashford making over 200,000 pounds a week. And I could go on, including Jadon Sancho. So there are a lot of guys that are getting paid
Lingard.
more. So they wanted to give Bruno a pay raise as well as an extension to show his stature at the club. You understand? You're one of the better players. You should earn more money. For whatever reason, Bruno Fernandes has stalled those negotiations for the second time. Remember the first time he was saying, let's just focus on this now, or let's sign more players. I want to improve the team. And at the time, nobody was thinking anything about it, because we know men like Tom Brady is famous for that, taking less money so that his team around him could be improved so that he could win, right? So at the time,
Correct.
nobody thought anything about it. But at this particular juncture, now you're being approached again, and it's the second time, it's kind of like nah. We're not really. I'm not really ready to take on a contract extension and to get a pay raise. I don't know many people. Is there anybody here? Let me just ask. Is there anybody here who, if they were approached to get a raise of pay, would say, nah, we'll talk about that later? Anybody? Just asking.
Nope.
What's the question?
If it were approached to get more money, to get a raise of pay, that you would tell your employers, nah, it's okay, we'll talk about that next time.
If I do that, shoot me.
Big Phil?
Nah.
What?
Oh, in terms of more pay, depends. I would say I would trade that pay for like groceries for life.
It's the same job, right?
Same. I will keep the
Same
same
job.
money. You buy my groceries for life.
I mean, you asked it,
I
mean,
wouldn't.
is a
No, I'm
question.
sorry, I wouldn't. No.
Well, that would make sense if Phil spends 50% of his groceries, 50% of his wages on groceries, but we don't know how much Phil does eat. So maybe that would actually work out. maybe for Phil,
Alright.
for Phil that would
Just
work
might.
out.
Groceries
So,
and gym
so
membership for
the
life.
question, the real question that I'm asking is this: is anybody concerned that Bruno Fernandes is not understand my question? I'm not saying he's not committed. We know he's committed to the club. But is anybody concerned that Bruno Fernandes is not prepared to commit his long-term future to Manchester United? Is anybody concerned about that? Does it ring any alarm bells? That is the
Why?
second time the club has approached him
Honestly
for a
speaking,
contract and he has said not now.
I wouldn't. I'm not that I'm surprised or think. I just think he's right though. I read somewhere today that the reason he rejected the contract proposal is because he wants to see what business the club does in the summer, and rightfully so. I mean, if you
Well,
if you
that
did
was
decline,
then. We
if you
did good business,
right, and it came back up
and
again. I can't
and
remember
they
who tweeted. I
approached
think
him
it was
now, and
Duncan
he still
Castles.
declined.
Right, I think it was Duncan Castles who was saying that he left it for the summer again to see what business they will do again. So I mean, in that perspective, you have to see, well, he's one for the team. Don't give me 20 million extra a year. Let's buy a player, but let's see who you're buying. If you buy somebody that makes sense, that will help the team grow and move
But
forward.
if Bruno
And
got
it
3 more years,
currently, then yeah, I mean,
if Bruno got
if you
3
buy,
more years on the contract, why the team why the club rushing him to sign an extension?
he probably sells jerseys.
No. Remember, I agree. When I heard about this last season, and I wasn't bothered because exactly what Phil said was my thought. You now come to the club. Why are we rushing to give you more money? But the club's
Because we don't
perception
want
is
anybody to come and talk to
we
you, man.
want to pay you, what you're worth. Let's be real. Bruno Fernandes should be one of the top 5 earners at Manchester United. Anybody disagrees with that?
No.
Bruno Fernandes should not be getting less money than Anthony Martial. Right? That is wrong. Plain and simple.
Right.
That is wrong. So I don't mind the club approaching him with that perspective, right? We're not going to
but not
slap
so
on
soon.
5 extra years. We might
Not
give
so
him an
soon.
increase and give him 1 extra year or something. I don't know, right? We're not like we're going to tie him down for 10 years. But,
No.
as much as I appreciate a player saying, I'm more interested in winning, let me see who you sign. It's starting to bother me that he not taking more money.
No, it puts pressure on the club to actually do something to keep him.
The
You can't
last
sign
player
any,
that
if
I
it's sign,
know, did something like this was Van Persie, and he ended up leaving his club and coming to Manchester United. That is why it bothers me.
then if Bruno doesn't sign and leaves, then we deserve it because you haven't showed him who wants to win stuff on the pitch that he has capable players to help him win on the pitch. You're wasting his time. I would have left too.
I read just now. Let me just read this comment from Kieran, because I think Kieran hits on it perfectly. Kieran says he thinks that the club that Bruno wants to build the club to challenge for titles before he commits, and that might just be it.
That's exactly what I said.
That is one reason, but he's not the first Manchester United player to do this. It happened with Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney didn't want to agree to certain things with his contract, but that was a ploy also. It was a ploy between him and Sir Alex to get the owners to open their hands financially so that Sir Alex could have bought players, right? Honestly, I don't know if that is the plan now, but he's not the first Manchester United player to do it. Roy Keane did it at a point in time. It happened with Peter Schmeichel, and eventually Peter Schmeichel left and went Man City. It had not
Well,
perfect.
you know, let's just hope. Let's just hope it works out. You know,
I not President Chat. I'm not gonna lie. There are probably two players on this team that I'm worried if they leave. That's David De Gea because he's our best player this season, and Mason Greenwood because that guy is a talent. Any other player, if they refuse to sign a contract, can go along.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. I honestly
well,
don't
from what
care.
I heard, and this is behind the scenes, this hasn't been made public as yet. The club is looking to approach David De Gea for a contract extension, even though he is, and possibly a wage raise, even though David
Again?
De Gea
A
is
wage
the
raise?
well,
He's the
normally
highest paid goalkeeper, I think, in world football.
Normally when you
Another
approach
wage
a,
raise.
No,
a player,
I think the most expensive goalkeeper right now is Donnarumma.
Yeah, but he's not the highest paid. De Gea take that title as the highest paid goalkeeper.
Yeah.
The
in
Gea on
world football.
375 right now, I think.
There's no keeper that's higher paid than him.
He's on 375 here.
right? Pounds. Donnarumma
Pounds.
getting euros. he getting
Donnarumma don't
pounds.
have that kind of money. He's not making that kind of money.
Oh.
Well, he up there, but you know, but
I
you
know
know,
Donnarumma has a high salary.
yeah,
but-
he is. He does.
Yeah.
He
But
went
you
there
see-
on a free, so he
but you
has
see
a high
also-
salary. But
You
I
see
wanna
also
say this about the hair, and I wanna quickly move on because we have two more things we had to go through: transfers, and then we had to get into Booboo and Top Shotta. So the hair, normally when you give players an extension, you give them a bit of a pay rise. My reaction was just like your reaction when I heard it. I was like, but how much money we going and get David De Gea again? You know what I mean? David De Gea is already
If
the highest
that
paid
is true,
goalkeeper.
if that is true, then we could afford to give Pogba what he wants, which is 400k. Because if you're giving David De Gea 375
Oh
already.
gosh, Mark. Oh gosh,
No,
Mark.
no,
Go
that's
down
what the
that
man
road
wants.
now, boy.
No,
No, be careful. No.
Save
David De Gea
that
has
topic for
saved
another time.
Manchester United countless times this season and in the past. But Paul
Right. So
Pogba,
so
don't
what is your
deserve that
reason?
money, man. No.
So what is your reason? So why would Pogba refuse then
Why Pogba would refuse what?
to extend his stay? Why would he want to leave? Why? When they came back to the club, they say back home. So why would you want to leave now?
Because
can
there's
go now
political
for my
talk.
part.
Save that conversation for another time.
He
Save
can go
that
now.
conversation.
He can go now. And he can take
Nah.
Martial with him.
Carlton is saying Bruno is not indispensable.
No
Agreeing
players
with
bigger
Big
than the
Phil.
club. No players bigger than the club.
And he's also saying, let Pogba go. You know what, guys? There was a hashtag free Donny. If Paul Pogba gets injured again or does not come out from his injury and ball, I am going to start the hashtag free Paul Pogba. And let's get that trending on Twitter. Because we get this Pogba conversation is getting weary now. There are two players at Manchester United I am totally tired to talk about. The most popular player at Manchester United, Donny van de Beek. And the second most popular player at Manchester United, Paul Pogba. And the reason I'm tired talking about these guys is because these guys don't be playing and everybody always talking about them. Always.
True.
They're always in the
True.
news.
True, but you have quality players in your team. You have to talk about them. You have to talk about
No,
them. You
we
can't
need
deny
to
the
talk
qualities there.
about people who are playing. Hence, we are going to be talking about Anthony Elanga. And my question to you all is simply this. Has Elanga arrived? Has
No.
he?
No.
Wait,
No,
let me
no,
finish
No,
this
it's
question.
unanimous. No, it's unanimous.
No. Don't let this whole one game and two games.
Exactly.
No,
I've been
we
giving away
haven't
around
seen
the
Anthony Elanga for one game.
This is Martial all over again.
Exactly. Thank you.
Rashford all
Everybody
over
asked about
again.
Martial.
Now you can't really say
this and
Rashford because
that.
Rashford hit the ground running and hasn't looked back there.
Barson all over again.
You can't say Rashford again because Rashford hit the
Anthony
ground running and hasn't looked
Morrison,
back.
yes.
Yes, all
Bravo,
over
Dad,
again.
you are getting
All
carried
over
away. See,
again.
thank you.
Getting
Thank
carried
you.
again. No, this is not
Pump
Theo
the
Walcott.
handbrake. Pump the handbrake,
This
President
ain't Theo
Chad.
Walcott. Jack Wilshere. Calm down, guys. Calm down.
I think under the right tutoring,
Steve Chung. Where's Chung now?
Young, yeah.
Where Chung
at,
is now?
back at Carrington, injured,
Yeah,
training
but
Where
Adnan had
is
the impact.
Angel
Young.
Gomez? Angel Gomez, where is he?
in
Right.
Let
in
me
Portugal.
ask a question. This is Anthony Elanga's third start for Manchester United, correct? He started against Wolves the end of last season. He started the game before. He started this game. Do you all know how much goals Anthony Elanga has for Manchester United after
It doesn't
3 starts?
matter.
Two.
It doesn't matter.
That's
Two.
right. 2 goals in 3 starts. I mean,
Okay.
that's not
Look at
something
their
to get
position.
excited
Okay,
about.
okay. Then do what Marcus Rashford did and score a brace against Arsenal.
Mm.
Hit the ground running, and then we'll say, okay, cool. They can
Fred,
stick around.
Fred got 2 assists. Fred got 2 assists in 3 games. You said you want Fred to start the next game?
But I do
They
even
changed. They
really
actually
want
changed
Fred
Fred's
to put
position.
past
Fred is
the
playing a little
summer,
higher
but
up.
That's
Fred is
another.
playing a little higher up.
All them
But Fred
people
has never
need to
been a
stop.
defensive midfielder.
Let's
He's a central
not get
midfielder.
carried away
We-
over Man United
I am
Academy
tired
youngsters.
of
Okay?
our fans, right, acting like Arsenal fans. We're not Arsenal fans, right? We're not Arsenal fans. We are Manchester fans. Guys, relax. Chad, relax. You know that.
All
Arsenal
right,
fans.
President
No,
Chad,
no.
relax.
You see, I am not
Relax.
excited, overly excited.
I don't understand. What's
Remember
the-
last year was Saka. Saka. Where's Saka now?
Saka
I don't
balling.
understand. Is it that what?
Saka
Elanga?
balling
What?
for
I don't
Arsenal.
understand.
Yeah, no. But
Listen,
2 years
That's all they
Elanga-
need time. That's all they
Elanga
need time. So
had
who you
2
going to
games,
drop?
good.
Who you going to drop to give
Elanga had,
Elanga that
hold
play
on,
time?
gentlemen.
relax.
Elanga had 2 games good. 2 games. 2
Right.
games good. One he scored in, one he played his heart out. Right? But I mean, yeah, all right. He has a little more to come with him, right?
Calm.
I mean, I think he's far better than Van Dijk as far as I'm concerned. Do
But-
I dare say that?
No, he don't play. It's not fair. He don't play. Right? He don't play. It's not fair.
Do I dare say that? I mean,
He don't
this great savior will have. I mean, I agree with Big Phil. Oh my, did I just agree with Big Phil? This is like with Fred. One game he good, the next game is 7 bad pass out of 2 good pass.
No, because
Yeah, but we all know this. We all supposed to know our team. We know
No,
Fred
but
is
that's what I'm
inconsistent. We're
saying.
supposed to know our players. We're not supposed to be
Anthony-
disappointed.
Anthony
when they
Last
crap.
Elanga has
All right,
the
guys. All right.
for the team.
So
He has
let
the
me
right
so
for
let me
the
just
team, and that is it.
so let me just wind it up. Let me just wind it up.
ago. It was
Are you all
FC Fred.
saying that the only person who should be concerned about Elanga is Anthony Martial?
He
Rashford
don't
shouldn't be
play.
concerned.
He not here no
Sancho
more.
shouldn't be concerned. Elanga not threatening nobody's spots. That's what you all say.
Well, not right now. Not right now. But if he is playing for the pick,
Chad-
then I would pick him.
I have to leave you guys now because my
No
other
worries,
meeting
buddy.
now started. All right, it was
All right.
wonderful. It was lovely, gentlemen.
Mhm.
Glory,
Very
glory.
good.
Right.
Nice.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
I was quick on the draw there, boy. Sorry about that. man.
Yeah.
Like, man.
No, I would just say, Elanga needs a run of games to really say, all right, you could start over Rashford or Greenwood or Sancho. Look at the names that he's up against to have a starting berth.
No. I didn't call Greenwood name, bro.
No,
I
no,
was very
I'm just saying.
specific.
No, we're
The
utilizing him on the
players
wing
I
as well.
called,
We still haven't found out
and
what his
Sancho.
position is. But, I wouldn't spend 72 million on Sancho and play Elanga over Sancho. You could be academy or not. And Rashford has proven
Who are you
himself. He
talking
just going
about,
through a
bro?
little
As
slump.
the manager says, it's all about winning games.
Correct.
If Elanga looking
Correct.
better.
And if Elanga looking better in training, then why not play him?
Right.
But if it's just down to Elanga or Sancho, you really gonna play Elanga over Sancho? Like really?
I
you're
wouldn't
really
do
going
that
to
now, but if I watch him training and he deserves it, yes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So you can't say that he has arrived. He's putting in performances to get picked. When Rashford doing it now and Elanga not starting now, then what's gonna happen? Wait and see Elanga. He's salted.
He hasn't arrived. So let's talk transfers. I'm just gonna run through this. Just gonna put the news out there. Newcastle has supposedly approached Manchester United for Jesse Lingard. The club in the past, because I believe we got one other approach earlier in January, has been resistant to letting Jesse go.
Mhm.
It looks like they may continue to be resistant to letting Jesse go. I, for one, would let Jesse Lingard go. But then I know Jesse Lingard himself may also be concerned about going to Newcastle because you don't want to be permanently traded to a club that next thing end up in the championship, right? Jesse Lingard don't want to play football in the championship. So I think what may be a middle ground here is if there's a loan, if we get a loan fee, which Newcastle would pay, take his wages off from now till the end of the season, send Newcastle and send him on loan at the end of the season. If Newcastle stays up and he wants to sign, well, he's free to do whatever he wants at the end of the season because he's not signing a contract with us. So let's see how things progress. We were going to keep you posted on this Jesse Lingard situation. AC Milan has not given up hope of signing Eric Bailly this window. The club already told AC Milan no, but AC Milan are working at seeing if they could put together another proposal to come back in for Eric Bailly because they really like Eric Bailly and they would really want to get him now instead of waiting till the summer. So let's see how that goes. Now that Harry Maguire is a bench player at Manchester United, I actually, we have Harry Maguire and we have Phil Jones on the bench. What we keeping Eric Bailly for?
I would keep Jones over Bailly.
My President Chad, that's not a serious question, man. President Chad has been stirring the pot for this entire session, boy. It's like talking about we got Phil Jones on the bench, boy. We keeping everybody. This guy just stirring the pot, boy. Boy, get me off of this stream right now, man. This guy just stirring and stirring and stirring. Yo, boy, I would get rid of Phil Jones first before I even.
Nah, man. Phil Jones is the last player on the team with a winner's medal. You can't get rid of that just yet.
Well,
he's the last person of this Alex Ferguson era. You can't get rid of that just so.
David De Gea. We still got David De Gea.
Well, true, but still
you want
to leave David De Gea by himself?
How low we have come as a club. And that's why I get upset. Right? We as fans, our heights have gone to nothing. Lord. We are happy with Phil Jones.
Correct.
No.
Which is sad.
We're not so happy with Phil Jones.
Phil Jones should be on his way to Newcastle.
Guys, before we go, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just going to say, you can't say we as fans, our standards have dropped. We know what we want as fans. The owners have let the standard of the club drop. And the fans now are trying to get it back. Their approach may be wrong, but they know the standard that the club supposed to have, which is why we have players like Varane now.
If AC Milan wants everybody that bad, you gotta include some sort of deal with Frank Kessie in it, and I can leave it at that.
I would take that. I would take that deal. Deal because Kessie also has 6 months on his contract.
Good.
Kessie also has 6 months. He could come now. Zakaria too.
You see, this is why we need to get Big Phil. We need to get, we need to be up in there. We're talking to the board and giving these. I mean, I am almost sure nobody in Manchester United thought, hey, we need a central midfielder. They have a guy. We only really want Eric Bailly so much. We could do some business.
Give us Frank Kessie.
Yeah.
How bad they want him?
Kessie, man.
All right, so I want to ask one question. And this is based on an observation. And then we're going to go into the boo-boo. So I want you all to think about it. Because I realize all the jumping and I'm kind of quick with all the answers today. When Bruno Fernandes played in the last game, not this game, the game before, and he was subbed off, he took off the captain's armband and he ran all the way to David De Gea. He didn't just hand it to a player and say hand it to Devin. He ran to David De Gea to put it on his arm, and then he came off the pitch.
Right.
Yesterday, Harry Maguire was subbed onto the pitch.
I saw that.
Look at it.
Didn't look in his direction. He did not give the captain the armband. He did not give him the armband. I was pointing that out to somebody.
Armband. It was almost like if nobody came on, nobody of note was up onto the pitch. Right?
I saw that. I was like, wow, look at that.
My
he didn't even give him the armband.
Is this team Bruno's Fernandes team for the taking?
Since he came.
Is this team right now, and I'm not talking about, you can't take a team if the team don't want to be taken. But do you get the impression from this team that they are prepared to say, yes, you, Bruno Fernandes, are our leader? This guy, Harry Maguire,
is a sheep.
He's mess. No, he's mess. I think he came out in the press that Ragnick said that Maguire is not up to the standard. Neither is Wan-Bissaka or Luke Shaw. Mind you, these are three key players that
it is reported in the press that he said that in a presentation to the board.
Right.
He has never thrown any player under the bus.
Under the bus. But if you're discussing with the board and the board, no, this man
No,
is not
the board
delivering.
is a different matter. You tell the board how you
Exactly.
feel.
They tell them direct.
But
Now,
Ralph,
if he can say that,
have also said that Harry Maguire will remain United captain for the rest of the season.
But
Unfortunately,
Yes.
and that is the reason why that move was strange, because
exactly,
officially, even if he come off the bench, officially Harry
you're
Maguire
supposed to give
is
him
our
the
captain.
captain is supposed to give him the armband. Supposed to hand it over. I
And,
saw
and,
that. I was
and,
like,
and
wow.
not only did Bruno not do it, there was no reaction from anybody.
Fuck
Like
Maguire.
nobody
Maguire no didn't
felt-
seem bothered by it. Maguire no didn't seem bothered by it. He knows that. He and all had no off reaction to it. I looked at that. I was like, yo, that is something. I hope nobody missed that. I guess nobody really took it on because that was big.
no, the
I thought that
commentary
was
team
big.
didn't say anything about it, but I noticed it.
The commentator didn't say anything about
and
it.
the reason it stood out to me was because of what Bruno did the last time.
Mhm.
Bruno took a lot of care with the armband to make sure he put the armband on David De Gea, which we all would admit
Mhm.
is a deserved person to wear the armband, David De Gea.
of course.
David, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So
He's
Bruno
been there
took
for
a lot
almost
of
11
care.
years.
Yeah, he took care with the armband in the last game. This
Yeah,
game
but,
was like,
but okay, for since Bruno came, we all knew that Bruno was the captain, right?
Yes.
Since he came,
so you saying that
Yes.
Bruno has been the unofficial captain for 2
he
seasons?
has been.
Yes, since he came.
Ever since Harry Maguire, right? Remember, Harry Maguire was given that band because of politics.
Because it's
Remember,
Price
English.
tag.
Right. He was supposed to be England captain and then
Before
our
what,
captain.
before what happened in Greece?
Right. But then it didn't happen. So, but we were stuck with him and we kept him on.
Robert said
England,
we were stuck with him. Yeah,
No,
England said no.
you
England
make,
said
you
no.
make it sound
And
like
England
Harry's
went-
gum under your shoe, Robbie.
But Harry's not good.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Who is England's captain right now? Who is it?
Kane.
Harry Kane, right? Thank you.
Mhm. Our next Harry.
Yeah, but Harry Kane is no leader
Right.
either. Harry Kane is
No,
very
he's
weak.
not. No, he's not. But what I'm saying, before Greece, Harry Maguire was earmarked to
Touted
be
for
captain.
the captaincy. Yeah.
But not because he deserved it, but because the English press earmarked him as the poster boy,
Mhm.
right? So he was the poster boy for England and the poster boy for us. But then England didn't work out, but we kept him.
We're not gonna make it an issue in terms of asking the question: should Bruno be given the armband permanently
Either him or the
right
here.
now? Because
Yeah.
the reality is, once Harry doesn't start,
If Harry doesn't
don't
start next
expect
game, I think they
anybody
should
else
make
to
Bruno
wear the
Fernandes
armband,
captain
right?
for the rest of the season.
No, I mean,
That's
it
just
should,
my opinion.
to me, it should.
If we
it
does
should
not
be-
start the next
Carlton,
game,
what's going on there, Carlton? I think we need to organize for you to be part of this panel at some point in time. What kind of
Mhm.
statement is that? That's a statement for Robert or myself to make.
No,
You know
but
what I mean? Maguire looks like he has a drinking problem.
Maguire was marking 2 of his teammates yesterday for that goal that we conceded. I don't know if you guys realize.
Yep.
President
let's
John
pretend
Maguire
that
is
never
a-
happened. Let's
Maguire-
pretend that never
Maguire-
happened.
Maguire is a
Let's
sheep.
pretend that never
He's a
happened.
sheep. Why we got a
Yeah.
sheep as a captain?
But he's not good. He's
No,
not good.
but
And I think
to me, yeah.
Ralph benching Maguire and making certain decisions is starting to show
Results.
with the results. It is starting to show what has been underlying in the club, and he don't really care about who have anything to say. This is what the bad weeds are. These are the people that not good. You're not good. What is Wan-Bissaka's problem? Every time Wan-Bissaka doesn't play, he's sick, but he trains every day. Yet still
Bro.
Dalo to start. Right before the
Right.
game, he was sick with an illness.
No.
That
Don't
don't make
even
sense.
go
If
down
you're not
that
good,
road, no. Because all was
No, we
talking
could.
about Ronaldo and a hip injury. Because I'm telling
no,
all
no, no.
Ronaldo has
Understand what I'm saying?
zero hip
Understand what I'm
injury.
saying? Understand what I'm saying? Ever since Wan-Bissaka, ever since Ragnick put Dalo at that right back position, he hasn't looked back. He
Nope.
took off Wan-Bissaka during a game. That speaks volumes.
You know, one of the reasons why I would always give Ragnick the benefit of the doubt, because of what he said he told Cristiano Ronaldo. I am interested in winning, the team winning.
Mhm.
We were ahead last game, and I didn't have anybody to sub one for Matic. What I should have done was change the formation. I didn't do it. We drew the game.
I do this time.
I am not going through that. I am about winning. What is best for the team? And as long as you have a manager that is about winning, I would always
That's all that
give
should
the
matter.
benefit of the doubt.
That's all that should matter. That is all that should
Because
matter.
that is what we want as supporters. We
So,
don't care.
Let me ask you a
Who play?
question, Mr. President, if I may.
Yeah,
just
before we go
quickly.
ahead.
You mentioned, we were talking earlier about Scott McTominay and these kind of things, right? Who would be your ideal midfield signing? I know we're not on transfers. But who would be you? You had a checkbook. They say, all right, Chad, we can sign whoever you want. Who would you see as the key, the cog to make this machine complete, based on your squad now?
Right now,
Mm-hmm.
even though I have a serious problem paying that much money for him,
Don't say Declan Rice. Don't say
I'm
Declan Rice.
hoping not to.
Oh Lord,
Declan
don't
Rice
say
would be
Declan
up
Rice.
there.
Dog,
Listen,
that
man,
man
you
is
said
got
Declan, right?
Don't
that
No,
say
no,
Declan Rice.
no. Let me. I had to explain it.
Declan
All I
Rice.
can
Wait,
say
hold on. Let me
is
explain. It's his choice. Just now, let me explain. I asked the question. I want to hear his opinion.
Declan Rice is one
Mhm.
person. One of the reasons two reasons I would choose Declan Rice. One is last season, if you had asked me this 3 months ago, Declan Rice wouldn't even make it in my top 3.
Mhm.
But I have been watching a lot of West Ham,
Mhm.
and Declan Rice is the only English player that came from the Euros and hasn't had a hangover.
A hangover.
Everybody
Correct.
else on the English team,
Well said.
performances have dipped. Not just United players, Mount, everybody
Correct.
else. Declan Rice
Correct.
performances has actually improved. And I started looking at Declan Rice different in the past 3 months. I was like, wait, this guy, I could actually, for the first time, the media has been talking about Declan Rice for over a year. For me, I've only been interested in Declan Rice for the last 3 months. I'm finally seeing somebody that I could look at and say, hey, that person could actually fit in our midfield. And he's Premier League proven. He's getting more involved in the play. You know, everybody used to be like, well, he has to check next time, he have this one next time, he have that one next time. Fair enough. But now he
He has
doesn't
Moyes
always
as a
have to
manager.
check next time. People changing, and most of the other players around him are more attacking. They do, even though they play 4-2-3-1, they don't really play 4-2-3-1. Declan Rice is holding that position by himself now. And he's
4-2-3, yeah.
doing it well. He's shining.
Correct.
He is very rarely ever responsible for any of West Ham goals. So, you know, Premier League proven is one for me. One of the people I like, this guy
It's a big
from
plus.
Brighton, Basuma. I found
Thank
Basuma
you.
look good.
Thank you.
I was kind of interested in Phillips at one point, but I'm not anymore.
Hangover.
One of the challenges for me is because I don't really watch much continental football until there's Champions League, you know, because I always feel that there are better players in Europe.
Way better.
Maybe in France, maybe in Germany. Germany have a lot of very technical, solid players. So, but if you're asking me based on what I have seen with my eyes right now, I would say Declan Rice.
Fair enough.
Big Phil, who would you want, Big Phil? Who would you want?
For that money, Declan Rice, no. In terms of who
I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
The money is too much. But who would you want?
There's a couple of youngsters. For example, there's a guy named Tushemeni who plays for Monaco.
Chouameni from Monaco.
I've heard of him.
Definitely love him for sure. If that isn't the case, I would take Basuma, Neves all day. Or I can put in a sneaky bit.
Neves is not a CDM though.
Yeah, he's not a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, but Neves can do that. Neves can do that dirty work.
Upgrade on Scott McTominay. We need to upgrade on Scott McTominay. I don't want
Neves can do that dirty work. Look, Ander Herrera wasn't a CDM either, but I take Ander Herrera to sit in front of Mike
did the job better
all day, every single day.
Did the job better. Wait, correct.
Right? You're right about that.
But no, but definitely Basuma or Tushemeni for sure.
Marvin Springer says Kante. I have been hoping that Kante fall out with Chelsea for the past 4 years.
They would never do that. They would never fall out with
Kante right now is past his prime. And I really
think
Kante ain't past his prime at all.
30. Yo, if Chelsea get Declan Rice, Kante going somewhere else, you know. Don't get it twisted.
Real will take Kante.
When Kante was at Leicester and his first 3 seasons at Chelsea, Kante was never injured. Kante was like a machine. In the last 2 seasons, Kante has had multiple injuries. Correct. That is enough for me to say your best days are behind. That's just me. I don't want that injury prone Kante. I wanted Kante in his prime.
I would take Ndidi from Leicester as well too.
Ndidi's a good guy.
Yeah, those are good names. And I'll be real, these are the names I would have considered before Declan Rice. But you see the eye test is important. You see the thing with English players, I always believe the English media does hype them up. So when we were talking Declan Rice a year ago, I saw a couple of games I wasn't
No, he was
impressed.
coming into. He was having some good displays. I would shop
Yeah, but
abroad though. I
still,
would go to Spain. I
he
would go to
was never
Portugal.
good
Sorry.
enough for me to say, yeah, I want him at United. But over the last 3 months, Declan Rice has really looked. He looked good.
Impressive,
Right.
He
impressive.
looked good.
And he's a
All right,
natural
guys.
leader
So
too because he's the captain.
let's get to the point of the show where we talk about the Booboo of the week. For those who don't understand what the Booboo and the Top Shotta segment is about, the Booboo of the week is the guy who's having a horrible week. You know what I mean? He's just bombing out. He's having a bad week. It could be a player, it could be a coach, a club, an organization, something football related. Similarly, the Top Shotta of the week is the person who is just everything is coming off, everything he touch turns to gold. He is the man for this week. Who wants to go first with this segment?
Me? Okay. Shotta first. My top shotter, I have two. One is Elanga. 3 games, 2 goals, doing very well. Right? Calm down on the hype. Calm down.
He's just the top shotter for this week.
Right. And Robert Lewandowski winning the best award. The man deserved it. And the fact that Messi was so salty, couldn't even go and vote for him. Damn thief. You're flipping
Damn
hobbits.
thief.
You're damn thief. He's a hobbit. He's a nasty old crone. Right? Stink dirty Messi. Nasty
We are
Messi.
cheering listening here. We are
Right.
cheering listening here.
Yeah, man. They don't know. Messi is not the greatest. He's not. And the
he's a
Booboo.
Booboo.
Well, obviously, every week is the same thing. Harry Maguire.
Why? He didn't even play.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I
don't
was
think it's
actually
fair.
considering making Harry Maguire
Exactly.
my Booboo too. Seriously.
Exactly. No, because
Seriously.
you are the so-called captain. You
Correct.
can't play. You have a
You're on the
so-called
bench.
injury. You're on the bench, right? You're so lame, right? And Bruno, take your band, take it from you, right? And refuse to even give it back to you. It's like a man came into his house, took his wife, right? Went home with her, right? And then you come to your home, and your wife is still there, and he says, "You know what? Nah, I ain't ready yet. Come back tomorrow. I'm still not ready yet. Come and check me next week. I ain't ready yet." And
You
the
come home,
wife,
you come home and the man sit down on the couch and eat and move
Right.
and he's like, yeah,
No.
you're behind the fridge.
yeah, you know what I mean? And your wife still says, no, Harry, come back next week, okay? I'm not ready to go home yet. Harry is a loser. Look, he's a loser, boy.
Let's hope we could say that Harry's a Booboo next week without us losing any games. So Big Phil,
We started with Booboo, right?
it don't matter. You could go any order.
I can start with top shots then. My top shot is Steven Bergwijn.
Yeah.
Steven Bergwijn came on for Tottenham yesterday. Tottenham were down 2-1. Leicester just had to
Ultimate
scale.
super
Leicester.
Yeah.
There was 5 minutes of stoppage time.
12 seconds remaining
And
before he equalized.
It was 4:48. As your man said, 12 seconds remaining. Tottenham are down 2-1. Okay? Steven Bergwijn comes on and gets 2 goals in 12 seconds. Steven Bergwijn scored the first goal. Leicester kicked off, and all of a sudden, Spurs are with the ball again. So the ball from Harry Kane, Bergwijn rounds Kasper Schmeichel, boom, 3-2.
Goal.
Top shotter scores 2 goals in 2 goals in 12 seconds, right? My Booboo of the week is Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey got flown from Ghana is out of the AFCON right now, right? Arsenal sent a private jet for Thomas Partey to fly him back to London for him to play in the Carabao Cup versus Liverpool that took place today, only for Thomas Partey to come off the bench and get 2 yellow cards
Didn't he?
for the red.
What? Wow.
And nobody could have
He
written
was
that.
tired. He was tired. He was
leave-
tired. Jet
leave-
lag.
Arsenal are already losing 2-0 to Liverpool. So Thomas Partey, in the space of a week, got knocked out of AFCON, flew back to London, and got knocked out of the Carabao Cup. You could not write this if you asked me to a week ago. He is my boo-boo of the week, for sure.
Hmm.
I will go next, and I will leave our new guest to go last.
No problem.
My top shotter of the week is our coach, Ralf Ragnick. Ralph is doing what we all hoped Ole would have done. You know, it's nice to be the nice guy, but you need to make tough decisions. Anthony Elanga played well. He deserved to start. He gave him a start. He supposedly wrote to the board and let them know, hey, Harry Maguire don't cut the mustard for this club, and he have no problem having the club captain on the bench. He found, okay, it's time to take off Cristiano Ronaldo. I need to make a change. I'm taking off Cristiano Ronaldo. And for me, that is the kind of movements we want from a manager, a man who knows this is what is required and also who learns on the job. He recognized
Correct.
what I made my subs too late and I made the wrong subs. I am not doing that again. And that is what we want to see. We want to see evolution in a positive way. Right? So for me, that definitely my top shotter this week is the man Ralf Ragnick. Robert stole my boo-boo because I was going on call Harry Maguire for the
What?
exact same reason.
Oh, that is not nice.
For the exact same reason. No, we don't have to give different top shotters and boo-boos, to be honest.
No.
So but I would not go Harry Maguire, again. Because I think he was my boo-boo last week as well. Right? So on the spot, if I had to pick somebody else, I would have to say who it was Spurs played yesterday.
Leicester.
Leicester whole team is my boo-boo.
Nah, Soyuncu is the boo because Soyuncu, there's a picture of Soyuncu looking down at Bergwijn when they were 2-1 up and trying to troll him, right? And look what happened.
My thing is, all you had to do, all I wanted, I didn't even care if Spurs drew or not. Take some points off of Spurs. Spurs was there for the taking. You could have handed Conte his first league loss. Instead, you move from a winning position to a losing position in 12 seconds. Leicester, definitely my boo-boo for the week.
Yeah.
Mark, all yours.
My top shotter would be Diego Dallo. His performance yesterday was remarkable. I can't really ask you all if you remember when he did not win an aerial challenge or did not win back the ball. His position play was.
I wouldn't lie, Diego Dallo's
was good.
positioning makes Wan Bissaka's positioning look even worse.
Like he doesn't know what he's doing, and you can see why Mourinho brought him in. When he brought him in, he did say that he is one that is going to be a world class defender, and he is showing that now. And I believe him along with McTominay. I mean, the top shotter is him, because you hardly get a really good performance from a defender these days, right? And him and McTominay, they really did well yesterday. My boo boo would be. In all actuality, see Ronaldo being taken off early. As much as it was surprising, it was kind of, sad to see him. They had a snap of him looking on from the stands, and he wanted to be out there doing more, helping his team. And you could see, the reality, again, actually get take off. It just depicted sadness. And I mean, apart from that, when you look at, I've been following Ronaldo since we bought him to now. So when you see where you start from to where he is now, Ronaldo coming off, you wouldn't think you would see Ronaldo coming off during a game. You know, would I think that at least in a United shoot.
True.
No time soon.
According
So
to
it did kind
coming off of a hip injury.
It true. That even that too.
he is
But
not
just
injured.
looking at Ronaldo, coming off the bench. He's coming off to the bench. He's upset. He's this, he's that. But then seeing him looking on at while the game going on, he's just looking like he want to be out there helping. It's kind of like, yeah, boy, Ronaldo getting old, boy. Ronaldo getting old. He coming off. Ronaldo getting old. He might be a second half man just now. Then all of a sudden he getting some minutes. Then that's it. We knew when Ronaldo was playing. So that's just, that's my Booboo and
Ronaldo keep
Top
his
Shotta.
performances for Champions League. No,
Well,
I'm
hopefully you can
serious.
take that.
Yeah, I will take that. If Ronaldo
take
could
that.
give us a goal every Champions League game, I'll be for the rest of the season. I'll be more than happy. Even if he
Isn't he
don't
top
score
scorer
any
right now?
game.
Isn't he the current top scorer right now? With
The
7?
Champions
Is
League,
it 7
I
or
think
6? Is it 7 or 6?
6.
I think it's a goal every game, except a goal every game and 2 in 1.
Yeah.
It'll be 6 somewhere.
Ronaldo. He on
I
6
think it's either
now.
6 or 7, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not doing too well, not doing too bad. Sorry, too bad. So yeah, we could probably a goal a game with him in the next stage of the competition. Should see us to the final. I think we could win the final, and I really think so. I wouldn't beat up on the league. I see Ralf prioritizing the FA Cup. He know he could probably squeeze in with something with the European competition with the that cup. But I think the entire club focuses Champions League. That's just my opinion on that, boy. Because I mean, as
Well, of
Robert
course,
said,
that's the
top 4
boss.
kind of out of the question. I mean, what
That's
else
the
to play for the
boss
Champions League?
focus. But the reality of it is we have a big squad,
Mhm.
and
All that too.
the more games we could play, the better.
All that too.
Let's
that too.
separate. Let's separate. Ralf is clearly here with a mindset to separate the sheep from the goat.
And you go and continue when you go
Right.
upstairs come the end of the
So
season.
the more that he could play players and see them not just in practice but see them in games, at the end of the season when he goes with a list to the board, I feel a list might have about 6 to 8 players on it. That Ralf wants to see how they come out. So I have no problem. The deeper, I mean, whether we win the FA Cup or not is irrelevant. Don't get me wrong. If we win it, I'll be ecstatic. But
Yes, sir, we're the same way.
that's not really a priority
Yeah,
in
but
my mind. But
we
I right now, like Ralph,
should-
I just want us to play plenty football.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
more Manchester
Correct.
United football playing, the better it is for me.
Question.
Alright,
One more
guys.
question. Haaland has up until January 31st to decide where he'll go. Where do you think
Haaland,
he gonna
no.
head?
No,
Why not?
I'm not paying no 300 million for Haaland. Sorry, no.
Why not?
No.
He's a
He
guaranteed
not
goal
come-
scorer.
He is not coming
Haaland
here.
only have 2 places he could go:
Who?
Real Madrid and Manchester City.
He not going to Real Madrid
I don't
He
think
not
he'll go
going-
Man City.
because
I really don't think he'll go City. I don't think he'll go City, honestly
Mbappe
speaking.
going Real Madrid right now.
Real Madrid can't have a front.
But
two
yeah,
of
he already
Haaland
gave them
and
his word they coming to at the end of the season.
Hell no. Where Real Madrid going to get that money from?
Remember they getting Mbappe
Lego
for free,
Hazard.
you know?
Yeah, correct. They're getting Pogba for
True.
free too.
Yeah.
So they could
Understand?
pay just wages there to pay.
Wages and agent fee and father commission. 20 million not bad enough. I would spend that money. I would Lego
Haaland is a
Cavani.
good player, but not for
Martial.
that kind of money. And to
Nah.
be honest with you, if it was just the money, if Haaland cost 120 and that was it, I would actually say yeah. But you see the baggage of Mino Riola and after 2 years, he had to be sold for a specific amount, and you see all this drama. That's what I can't take. If the player was just 120 million full stop, you sign him 5 years with a 1 year option. I have no problem with that. You see the baggage,
I
he ain't going through that.
would have thought to take Harry Kane last year over Haaland.
Nah, he's still in
I
catch
would've.
himself. He's still, how much goals he scored so far?
No.
Only
Last
bring up
No.
so much things this program for us to discuss our next time.
Last year.
Right.
We need-
But look what
See,
happened
Man
to
is
him last.
on the way out.
See,
At
right
some point,
after
we're
the
going to have to
Euros.
discuss
Right. Last
who
year.
we want to see at Manchester United come in as another striker, because we need
And
to get another striker regardless.
Vlahovic.
Right? Who?
Vlahovic.
nah, I can get
Fiorentina already accepted a bid from Arsenal. So
Serious? Nah, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Serious?
that's a discussion for another time, though.
Don't worry about it. He'll do like Party. He'll reach Arsenal and just
Partey?
pop down. That's what Arsenal is do players. Make them pop
Pop
down.
down.
Pop down.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you have not as yet, click that like button. Support the United Hour. share it with a friend. And as I always say, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply. Good night, everybody.
Hey,
Good
if you
afternoon.
appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let's grow this community.